नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नित्यानन्दमहं नौमि सर्वानन्दकरं परमहरिणामावृतं देवमवधूता शिरोमणिम् आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाम्ब दिव्यछविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसाप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas. I wish to seek your good wishes and blessings so that I can serve Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in some way. The time given to me is only 25 minutes left. Sadhurade Prabhu, if he can, is kind enough, we can increase by 5-10 minutes if possible. Thank you so much. So today we are going to discuss about the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavat Mahatmya. And definitely today's verse will be discussed in the Bhagavat Mahatmya also. Long ago, eminent sages headed by Shaunakji, they all gathered at the forest of Naimisharanya and they are performing a 1,000-year-old sacrifice for pleasing the Supreme Lord. And at that time they got association of Srila Sutta Goswami Pad. So they stopped their sacrifice and they gave Sutta Goswami Pad an elevated seat. The sacrifice which they were performing, it was been performed for world peace, for universal peace. But they stopped that sacrifice, understanding that that sacrifice itself cannot give peace to them. How can it give peace to the whole world? So it is essential. So Sutta Goswami Pad was given a very elevated seat, and all of these 88,000 rishis who were sitting at Naimisharanya, they took shelter of Sutta Goswami Pad. It is essential that a disciple be very much obedient and submissive to the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sutta Goswami Pad has all these requirements. And that's why he was blessed and empowered by his spiritual master Srila Vedavyas and so many others. The fortune of Sutta Goswami was that when Shukdev Goswami was speaking Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, Sutta Goswami got the fortune to sit next to him. And he also heard the entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from the lips of Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami's attention was not only on Parikshit, but was also on Sutta Goswami Pad. Why? Because it was Sutta Goswami Pad who was going to narrate the entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to the rishis of Naimisharanya, and he was the one who was going to propagate the teachings of Bhagavatam. So Shukdev Goswami's focus, Shukdev Goswami was also focusing on Sutta Goswami Pad. So there are two great personalities who are hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Parikshit and Sutta Goswami. These rishis of Naimisharanya were very well aware of situation of Sutta Goswami Pad. So they asked, please explain us scientifically, what have you realized about absolute truth? What is absolute truth? Please recite those nectarian pastimes which are like a tonic to the ears. And the most important, how do Vaishnavas become free from Maya? Please describe that process by which one can attain Krishna. Kalpavriksha can grant us heavenly opulence, and a touchstone can grant us material opulence. But a spiritual master, if he is pleased, can grant us the holy abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the most important part of our spiritual life, to understand this aspect. Association with the Bhagavatas. Association with the Bhagavatas is the ultimate remedy for eliminating all the inauspicious things from our lives. We all know there are two types of Bhagavatams, person and a book of Bhagavata. We all know this. We have been taught this. But how to take shelter of these two sadhus is very important. These two Bhagavatas is very, very important. The book Bhagavata and the person Bhagavata both are powerful and both are capable enough of granting one the abode of the Supreme Lord. The person Bhagavata leads a life. A person Bhagavata is an excellent as book as Bhagavata itself, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself, because he leads a life which is mentioned in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That's why, what is book of Bhagavata? Book of Bhagavata means there are activities, name, fame, pastimes of the Supreme Lord and His glorious devotees. There are pastimes mentioned in the Bhagavatam of the devotees. They are all Bhagavatas. They are all great personalities like Shukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit, Pandavas, 4 Kumaras, Suta Goswami, Rishis of Naimisharanya. Then if you see, the glories of Lord Shiva are mentioned, the glories of Jada Bharat, Ajamil, how he perfected his life. So many descriptions are Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and so many various pastimes of the devotees are mentioned in that. And since the person of Bhagavata is a direct representative of Supreme Lord, one can receive the benefit of the book of Bhagavata. One has to hear or read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam under the guidance of a person of Bhagavata. We have to hear Bhagavatam from a person whose life is Bhagavatam. Only then can we understand what is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Otherwise it is not possible to understand. A person who does not read Bhagavatam himself, what can he explain Bhagavatam to others? The person who himself has not made Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam his life and soul, how can he explain Bhagavatam to others? And what will we understand from hearing from him? That's why we need to understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from a person of Bhagavata. When Sri Narad Muni explained this, a very important aspect. Narad Muni, when he told Vedavyas, he himself told the glories of association of Bhagavatas. He was serving the glorious Bhakti Vedantas. He ate their uchishta, their remnants, and he got purified. So it is a good fortune if one gets association of such great personalities. So association of these great personalities like Bhagavad, these great personalities gives extraordinary results. And how can one understand this? This can only be understood by associating with them. Even Narad Muni says this to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Graheshvavastito Rajan Kriya Karvanneto Chitaha Vasudevarpanam Sakshad Upasita Mahamuni. Go and sit in the association of Mahamunis. There are Munis and there are Mahamunis. Who are Munis? Munis are those personalities who always remain silent, mauna. They don't speak anything. Neither of Krishna, neither of the material world. But Mahamunis are those personalities who speak exclusively only about Krishna. Those are Mahamunis. And Narad Muni is encouraging us, go and sit in the association of Mahamunis. So replying to the inquiries of Shaunak Rishi, Sutta Goswami Pad is saying that because your heart is filled with love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am going to tell you something very, very confidential. He told that this conclusion which I am going to tell you will destroy the fear of repeated birth and death. And Shukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami is saying, Shukadeva Goswami recited Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for this purpose only. It is for this purpose only Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam, to finish the cycle of birth and death. 3 things happen when one takes shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. 1, all the doubts are removed. Because Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is full of questions and answers. So all the doubts are eradicated, completely removed. Second thing, the karma is slackened. Karma bandhana is finished. One takes shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And third thing is, Śrīmad-Bhāgavate Mahamuni Krute Kimva Pararishvara Sadhyaradaya Vruddhatra Kritivi Sushrushubhis Takshanat. One gets Krishna. One gets love of God. Sutta Goswami is saying that Shukadeva Goswami, when he was about to recite Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, at that time the demigods, they came there with a pot of nectar. And they told to Shukadeva Goswami, oh Shukadeva ji, this is a pot of nectar. So please take this as a fees for your class. Take this as a fees. And instead of that, allow us also to hear Bhagavatam. They are bribing Shukadeva Goswami. They gave. And Shukadeva Goswami, when he heard this, he began to laugh. When Shukadeva Goswami started laughing, they said, you are not adhikari, you don't have adhikar to hear Bhagavatam. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is rare even among the demigods. And he kicked, Shukadeva Goswami kicked them out from the assembly. How can one compare Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to some heavenly nectar? It is not possible. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the property of the devotees of the Lord. Demigods are also devotees, but they are bereft of the nectar of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam because of their selfish nature. Who can understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Nirmatsaranam satam. One is non-envious person can understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Otherwise we can go on reading and reading like a book, but Bhagavatam will never reveal itself. When you are studying Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam also should talk to us. Bhagavatam should reciprocate with us. Bhagavatam should reveal itself to us. Bhagavatam is not a book as a dead book. Bhagavatam is a live book. It's Krishna in the form of book. It's a book incarnation of Lord Krishna. The deities reciprocate to our prayers. The holy name reciprocates to our prayers. So should Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reciprocate to our prayers. When we are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also should reciprocate with us. For that, we need to have unflinching faith in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And unflinching faith will come by constant hearing, constant reading, and constant speaking about its glories. And gradually, we'll develop this unalloyed devotion for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as well. There is a difference between the heavenly nectar and the nectar of Kṛṣṇa-kathā. We cannot compare anything in the material world with Kṛṣṇa-kathā. Any heavenly nectar with Kṛṣṇa-kathā, it cannot be compared. Srila Prabhupada started this Bhagavatam discussion every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, for this purpose, so that we can hear, read, and people get a chance to glorify Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Hearing it through proper process under the guidance of a devotee will grant devotion. Previously, Sutta Goswami is saying previously, Narad Muni also have heard it from 4 Kumaras. And as soon as Rishis of Naimisharanya heard, Narad Muni, we always heard Narad Muni instructing others. When did Narad Muni, where did Narad Muni get time, and when did he hear from 4 Kumaras? Please tell us. We want to hear about it. Lord Krishna is present in every page of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And if you want to see Bhagavatam through the pages, through Krishna through the pages of Bhagavatam, then we have to hear the glories of Bhagavatam. If we hear more and more, if we hear the glories of Bhagavatam, we will understand the value of it. So the Goswami is narrating an episode. He's saying that once 4 Kumaras happened to visit Badrika Ashram, Badrinath. And Narad Muni met them. And Narad Muni was in anxiety. Just like Grahasthas, whatever happens, they are always in anxiety. However peaceful life is there, but Grahasthas are always in anxiety. Something or other, some or other work, it is always with them. ये काम करना है, वो काम करना है, ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना, घर से फोन आता है, यहाँ से फोन आता है, बच्चों का फोन आता है, इतना सारा काम रहता है. So many, so there are always an anxiety. Very, very rarely you will find Grahasthas very peaceful. So Narada was looking like that. And 4 Kumaras saying, hey Naradji, what's wrong with you? Why are you in anxiety? What is your problem? You're an acharya of bhakti. Why are you in anxiety? And Narad Muni said, oh my good fortune, I am meeting you. He's saying that I was actually traveling all over the earth. I traveled all over the earth and I was expecting some auspiciousness. But at present, Kali Yuga has overburdened the earth. Truthfulness, austerity, cleanliness, mercy and charity does not exist anywhere. People in Kali Yuga are always telling lies. And they are filling their bellies. So once I was traveling around the earth, so I just happened to visit so many holy places. And finally, after visiting so many holy places like Pushkara, Praya, Kashi, Godavari, Kurukshetra, Sriranga, Setubandha, I finally came to Vrindavan. And at Vrindavan I found some peace. And there I saw something very amazing. I saw that a very beautiful young girl. She was sitting on the banks of Yamuna and 2 old men were lying on her lap. Hundreds of beautiful ladies were serving that beautiful girl, and they were all in sorrow. Such a beautiful scene I saw, and they're all in sorrow. So I went further and I inquired from them, who is this girl, who are these 2 boys, and who are these beautiful ladies who are serving this beautiful girl. And as soon as I went there, this girl stood up and they said, I am Bhakti. And these are my 2 sons, Jnana and Vairagya. And all these beautiful ladies who are serving me, they are all the rivers. And then Narada asked, then why are you unhappy? Unhappy because I am the mother of these 2 sons. I am young and these 2 sons are old. How is it that the mother is young and the sons are old? And they are unconscious. Now there is a very beautiful, our acharyas are given this, that this brief history of the bhakti movement. Now there are many great saints, many great Vaishnavas who appeared in the land of Dravida. Bhakti Devi said that I was born in Dravida. I grew up in Karnataka. I flourished in Maharashtra. But then when I came to Gujarat, I was caught by rogues and thieves there. And then I became old. But when I reached Vrindavan, I became youthful again. But this my 2 sons, Jnana and Vairagya, they are old. So what is the reason? How can we relate this to our situation? So, the bhakti movement in this age of Kali started from South India. The great Vaishnavas who appeared in Dravida and Sripad Ramanujacharya in the banner of Sri Sampradaya organized and propagated Vaishnavism. Then Madhvacharya came. Madhvacharya appeared in the state of Karnataka and very vigorously he nurtured devotional service. Then he came to Maharashtra. And in Maharashtra, the great saint like Tukaram Maharaj, they flooded the whole Maharashtra with bhakti. But then I came to Gujarat. If there are Gujaratis here, please don't mind. Then the inhabitants of Gujarat were more interested in material possessions for their temporary body. And therefore, bhakti was neglected. When one worships Deha, the worship of Deva is neglected. And where bhakti is lacking, Jnana and Vairagya are also weak. If we don't hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, if you don't read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, if you don't speak Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, our bhakti will not get nourishment. And what will happen? Our Jnana and Vairagya will become old. Jnana means what? Ordinary? No, we are not talking about ordinary Jnana. We are talking about transcendental knowledge. If we are hearing Harikatha, then we get transcendental knowledge. And then we naturally develop detachment from the material world. If we don't hear Harikatha, we'll become more and more attached. And gradually we will not hearing Harikatha, we are hearing something else, that means. And our attraction will increase in that direction. Gaur Krishna Maharaj gave an example. I really like that example. He says that just like we need food, right? We need now after our class we'll go and take prasadam. What will you do? We'll take prasad. How is prasad going to help us? Prasadam will help us with nourishment with this body. We need chapatis, vegetable, paneer sabzi, so many different things we need for nourishment of this body. Similarly, food for soul. What is food for soul? Food for soul is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Just like a body requires food to get nourished, similarly the soul requires Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for its Krishna conscious nourishment. We might be healthy or we might be sick. In both the situations, we need food. Right? We might be, those who are healthy, they might eat very opulent food. Those who are sick, they might eat health food. 4 number गेट के पास वहां पे पनीर मिलता है लेकिन so, but in both the circumstances, either we are healthy or unhealthy. When we are unhealthy, we require medicines, this, that, hodal diet, that diet, all these things are there, or hodal medicines, that medicines. But in both the situation, healthy or unhealthy, we need food. Similarly, in any given circumstances, whether you are a manager, you are an administrator, you are any position in the society, or you are a simple devotee, in both the places, we need Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for everybody. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is for everybody. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the food for soul. How can we neglect that? How can we neglect hearing Bhāgavatam? How can we neglect reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on everyday basis? How can we neglect glorifying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on everyday basis? Because it is the food for soul. So Bhakti is saying that, Bhakti Devi said that it usually happens that a mother is old and the children are youth. But here I am young and the children are old. What is happening, Naradji? And then Naradi told that this is all because of the ruthless age of Kali. Because of this Kali Yuga, a good behavior, yoga, austerities, everything is destroyed. People are like demon Aghasur. Sin personified. Everybody is performing sins. And the saintly people are become miserable. And the demonic people are very happy. This is the age of Kali. And Narad Muni is asking, so Bhakti is asking Narad Muni, can you please help me? Can you do something? So Narad Muni went ahead and he tried to initiate Jnana and Vairagya. What did he do? Narad Muni chanted Vedic mantras. Narad Muni chanted Upanishad mantras. Narada Muni chanted so many different things, and bhakti was, Jnana and Vairagya did not even wake up. But when Narada Muni chanted Bhagavad Gita, what happened? Jnana and Vairagya opened their eyes, yawned, and again went back to sleep. I was giving the same topic in Bhaktivedanta manner, and there was a question which was asked. There was a big argument on this, but then we presented nicely. Why? People are not able to understand why Bhagavad Gita was recited to Jnana and Vairagya. Why did they went to sleep again? We are able to understand Bhagavad Gita because of Srila Prabhupada. But if you see Bhagavad Gita as a part of Mahabharata, then it is very difficult to extract the real essence of Bhagavad Gita. The expressions of His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada are so much important in understanding Bhagavad Gita, in understanding actually as it is what Krishna meant. So Narada Muni, he tried to wake up Jnana and Vairagya by chanting of Bhagavad Gita in so many different ways, but they did not wake up. And Narada Muni was in anxiety. And all of a sudden, there was a voice from the sky. And the voice said, "Oh Narada, go and do some satkarma. And you will meet some great sages, and they are going to tell you what is the way by which this Jnana and Vairagya can be revived." So Narada Muni said, "Oh." But the voice did not very clearly say where to go. So Narada Muni started to go in every ashram of a sadhu. And as soon as people saw Narada Muni coming, they were afraid what is going on. Narada Muni is traveling and asking everyone, "Hey, Prabhuji, how can Jnana and Vairagya be revived?" So many of them said, if Narada Muni doesn't know the answer, what will we know? How will we know? If Narada Muni, the Acharya of Bhakti, he does not know the answer, how will we know what are the ways to revive? So Narada Muni, he was going to different places, meeting all the elevated sages, and many of the sages, when they understood whomever Narada Muni meets, the next day in the newspaper comes that Narada Muni went to this ashram, this Baba, this sadhu, and they are not able to answer. So the news comes, this sadhu does not know anything. So so as soon as they hear Narada Muni is coming to their ashram, they used to disappear from that place. Why taken headache, Baba? दूसरा दिन न्यूज़पेपर में आ जाएगा कि नारद मुनि किसी के पास चले गए, उसके बाद जवाब ही नहीं था. So when Narada Muni was in anxiety roaming here and there, at that time he decided, let me go to Badrika ashram, finish. I am going to meet Nar-Narayan Rishi directly and ask them what is the solution. And as soon as Narada Muni goes there to Badrika ashram, there is where they meet the four Kumaras. And as soon as when they meet four Kumaras, the four Kumaras saying that, Naradji, why are you in so anxiety? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the essence of Vedas. And simply by hearing the words of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya will be nourished. And just like as a sound of lion roars and sends the worlds with fear, so is the recitation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But Narada said that I have chanted Vedas, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita in an effort to wake up Jnana and Vairagya. How is it possible that Vedas, Upanishads, and it is not reviving Bhagavatam, it is not reviving Jnana and Vairagya? How is it possible that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will revive? How is it possible? Because Bhagavatam also is the essence of what? It's the scriptures. And Vedas, Upanishads and everything are the same. So how is Bhagavatam going to help? So Kumaras are giving a very beautiful analogy. 3 examples he gives. And this is how we'll end our class. Kumaras are saying, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the essence of the Vedas and Upanishad. But it is a ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literature, and it is superior. The first example he gives, a vital fluid is present in a tree. throughout. But it can be only tasted once when it comes in the form of a fruit. A mango tree, only the mango is sweet. If you try to eat the branches, if you try to eat so many different ways, the leaves or the branches, we're not going to enjoy. We are going to only enjoy when it comes in the form of fruit. Similarly, ghee is detectable. The ghee is very, very delicious, and it is even attracted to the demigods. But it is found in the cow's milk, and it cannot be tasted until it is extracted. Similarly, sugar is present in the sugar cane, but becomes more delicious when it is extracted. Same idea applies for the pastimes which are described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is equal to the Vedas. But when it is coming in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam exclusively, then it becomes more and more nectarian. And Narad Muni is saying, and the four Kumaras is saying, that when Vedavyas himself was morose, it was you who went and gave the 4 Chaturshloki Bhagavat to Vedavyas and helped him with completely eradicating his doubts. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada has given us Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam with the commentary. His books are, his purports, his commentaries are the ecstasies, his personal ecstasies. We shall all take advantage by regularly studying, by regularly hearing, studying and speaking about it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, we can take. It's very difficult to put this subject matter in half an hour. Very difficult. So we still tried. 3 chapters we covered in 25 minutes. We can take some questions if there are any. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. So the situation changed by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada ji. And the question is that Gujaratis, we can see there are so many devotees in Gujarat. So how to understand the discussion which has been presented? Yeah, that is true that it was a situation like that, but situation changes as per time. No? Earlier, Shripad Ramanavacharya, Madhavendra Puri, they all came and they propagated bhakti. Similarly, in Gujarat, Vallabhacharya ji came and he changed the situation. So as the time passes, the different acharyas they come and for the benefit of the souls they deliver the message of Bhagavatam. And by sadhu sangha, by association of Vallabhacharya, all these people they gave up their desires for material enjoyment and they took shelter of Vallabhacharya and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay.
हरे कृष्णा। आवाज आ रही है?
यस,
साफ है आवाज। तो आज के श्लोक में भगवान दक्ष को जो बतला रहे हैं उनकी तपस्या का जो है समर्थन कर रहे हैं। तो भगवान जो है 6 क्रम बतला रहे हैं, 6 प्रकार की विधियां बतला रहे हैं जिनके द्वारा हम भक्ति में आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो सबसे पहले तपस्या की विधि है जिसके द्वारा भगवान का हृदय बनता है। तो भगवान का भी शरीर बनता है, जैसे बच्चे का शरीर बनता है तो भगवान का भी शरीर बनता है। तो हम जो है भगवान को प्राप्त करते हैं तो सबसे पहले भगवान का हृदय, हमें भगवान का हृदय प्राप्त होता है तपस्या के द्वारा। तो तपस्या का मतलब प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं भौतिक कार्यकलापों से मुख मोड़ना, असत संग त्याग। तो सबसे पहले तपस्या का मतलब है आप असत संग का त्याग करिए, जो भौतिक संसार के क्रियाकलाप हैं, भौतिक क्रियाकलापों का त्याग करिए, इससे भगवान का हृदय बनता है। जैसे बच्चे का सबसे पहले हृदय बनता है, जब गर्भ में बच्चा होता है तो सबसे पहले हृदय बनता है। फिर दूसरा जो क्रम है वो है विद्या। तो विद्या से भगवान का शरीर बनता है। तो विद्या का मतलब है साधु संग, हरे कृष्ण मंत्र का आप कीर्तन करते हैं और भक्तों की संगति करते हैं, तो उससे भगवान का शरीर बनता है। हृदय के बाद शरीर बनता है। शरीर के बाद फिर तीसरा जो क्रम है वो है क्रिया। तो जो क्रिया का मतलब है भजन क्रिया। तो जब आप साधु संघ के बाद भजन क्रिया करते हैं तो भगवान के शरीर की जो है आकृति बनती है। आकार तो बन गया, अब आकृति बनती है भगवान के शरीर की, तो भजन क्रिया के द्वारा। इसके बाद फिर चौथा जो क्रम है वो है क्रतु। तो क्रतु अनेक प्रकार के क्रतु हैं। तो निष्ठा पूर्वक जो वैष्णवों की सेवा होती है तो वो जो है विभिन्न प्रकार के क्रतु हैं, और उससे भगवान के विभिन्न प्रकार के अंग बनते हैं, जैसे नेत्र हैं और हाथ पैर हैं, ये सब बनते हैं। तो इस प्रकार से और विकास होता है। फिर पांचवा जो क्रम है वो है धर्म। तो धर्म के द्वारा भगवान की आत्मा का मतलब यहाँ मन है। तो शरीर और शरीर के अंग बन गए, अब जो है मन विकसित होता है भगवान का। भगवान की अंदर कई प्रकार की इच्छाएं होती हैं। तो धर्म का मतलब है हम रुचि पूर्वक जब हम श्रवण करते हैं तो वो जो है ये धर्म है कि हम रुचि लें। आगे नहीं तो भी आप रुचि लीजिए श्रवण करने में। तो ये जो है पांचवा क्रम है। तो इसके द्वारा भगवान का मन प्रसन्न होता है और भगवान का मन विकसित होता है। फिर उसके बाद छठवां क्रम है सुरा कि भक्तों का परिवार। तो जो भक्तों का परिवार, जब हम भक्तों के परिवार से जुड़ जाते हैं तो वो जो है सब सुरा हैं, यानी देवता लोग हैं। तो उसके द्वारा भगवान की जो है ज्ञानेंद्रियां, जो इंद्रियां हैं वो विकसित होती हैं, भगवान की इंद्रियों के कार्य विकसित होते हैं। तो इस प्रकार से भगवान का पूरा जो भगवान की पूरी प्राप्ति जो होती है वो 6 प्रकार से होती है। और 6 क्रम जो है ये एक के बाद दूसरे आते हैं कि तपस्या से हृदय बनता है, विद्या से उनका शरीर बनता है, और क्रिया से उनकी आकृति बनती है, और क्रतु जो है उनसे भगवान के शरीर के अंग बनते हैं, और फिर धर्म से उनका मन बनता है, और फिर जो भक्तों का परिवार है उससे भगवान की जो है ये शरीर की इंद्रियां बनती हैं। तो इस प्रकार से भगवान जो है दक्ष को बता रहे हैं, तुमने जो कार्य किया है तपस्या का, तो ये सबसे पहला आध्यात्मिक जीवन में सबसे पहला जो कदम है वो तपस्या है, जिसको कि हमें समझना चाहिए कि असत संग त्याग। आप असत संग का त्याग करिए और आपकी श्रद्धा पैदा हो, भक्तों में श्रद्धा हो, शास्त्रों में श्रद्धा हो, ये सबसे पहला कदम है। लेकिन भगवान दक्ष को संकेत कर रहे हैं कि और आगे बढ़ो, अभी आपको और भी आगे बढ़ना है ना। तो दक्ष को जो है भगवान इस प्रकार का संकेत दे रहे हैं और उनको प्रोत्साहन दे रहे हैं कि तुमने अभी तपस्या कार्य पूरा किया है, लेकिन अभी आपको और भी आगे बढ़ना है। हरे कृष्णा। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।